Hey guys, this is Dr. Alchemist, M.F.A, the Neo Scholar. I have a Master of Fine Arts in Fashion Design. And why are you watching this? Because I got the credentials, I got the muscles, let's get it going. It's been a long day. I got smoke, I got a pancake. I need to edit, I need to get this out. I want to be in bed by 10 because I wake up now every morning at 5 to hit the gym. It's a whole different life when you're waking up in the morning at 5, gym at 6, and out by 9 so you can just start your day. It's amazing. And then a quick little 30-minute nap, I feel great. This is Dr. Dictionary, my mascot. And then the council credentials. These are other people that encompass us and helps us with this whole production. Dr. Dictionary I came up with because I feel like my favorite YouTuber, Tekking101, who this video is about, had buried a brick. And so I wanted to have my own brand mascot that's here with me. And yeah, I made them by hand. I sat here and when I went to Pasadena Community College, I found a dictionary and I was like, oh, right now, like in the world of Instagram and swiping, a lot of people are illiterate. So I was like, well, why not we have a dictionary to teach people? And that's how I kind of came up with my name too, Dr. Alchemist. Not the illiterate portion, but I have my master's degree in fashion design and I graduated, got that in the 2010s. And so once you get design and design theory, you evolve past being a designer. So I was like, oh, I've evolved past the designer. And after researching what alchemists are, and also my line when I pledged Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was Alchemist Upper Horus. I was like, okay, alchemy is kind of like modern day designers. Alchemists back then were designers. They were creating things from raw materials to gold or whatever that would be. Not necessarily gold all the time, like Full Metal Alchemist, but they were creating things from nothing. And so I feel like I'm a modern day alchemist, and that's how I came with Dr. Alchemist, because I do have dreams of one day getting a PhD. I don't know if that ever happens. I'm already working on more. I'm back in school now, getting more degrees right now, but on the associate and maybe another master's. TBD in 5 years. But a doctor, so I kind of wanted to speak that in existence. So I thought it'd be cool and to separate from other people because, you don't want to feel like you're wasting away your master's degree. So I'll put M.F.A to differentiate me and other YouTubers. Like, hey, a little credential. I don't know. And then came up with Dr. Alchemist M.F.A. And the Neo Scholar is just like, I got it from Sailor Moon, Neo Queen Serenity. And I looked up the word Neo, so it means like new. So the Neo Scholar. And this is Dr. Dictionary. And I went to Dollar Tree and I had these glasses already, so I just snapped them off. Got these little hair ties, kind of like, his headband. I printed this out, taped it. This is actually my own logo right here. If you know, my artist name my actual name is LT Hines II. So I was inspired by the Toyota logo. So you can see LTHINES and the Roman #2 here. So that's my logo. And this kanji means hopes and dreams. And that's on my bag. This is actually inspired by my tattoo in the back. And yeah. Thesitation. These are all like my trademark words. So please take it. I need money. When I was getting my master's degree, it was just so hard and, it was a lot of trials and tribulation. I felt like I wanted to upgrade my degree to get a blend of it felt like a PhD at that point. Like I was doing like a virtual fashion show. It was crazy. I was like the first one to do that Academy of Art, but I didn't get the chance to produce it because, budget. So I was able to just get the prototype version out, which is amazing. And yeah, that's where thesitation came from. A thesis and dissertation blended together. And so yeah, we got a little paper clip. I put Dr. Dictionary. You see his tie, getting the details, the logo. He has a lab coat like me because I wear that when I do my One Piece chapter reviews. And and the hat was inspired by Luffy since we like One Piece. So I did an origami hat and I had some rope and purple is my favorite color. So that's how Dr. Dictionary came along. I chose Sakura because Sakura is my favorite. Naruto is my favorite anime of all time. I would put One Piece at number 2 because One Piece I discovered in my adult life, like during COVID. And then Naruto, I started when I was a kid, when it first came out. Of course, I had Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon growing up in Sentai, Power Rangers, and Toonami. But Naruto was the first time I did the manga anime thing. Like I was reading the manga, reading the anime, and I was ahead with the manga. Like I remember it vividly when it was Shippuden and stuff like that. And yeah, that's how I got into that. Of course, the Going Merry. We all know that. Well, I think we're in chapter 35 right now, or 36. And we will soon have this ship pretty soon after we're done with that Syrup Village, right? Bulbasaur is my favorite starter Pokemon in Kanto. I got this Rubik's Cube from my community college. And, you know, I knew I wanted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know I wanted 8 total because, like, angel numbers. Oh, shit. But look, isn't that cool? And it has like little face and stuff on it. So I thought that was cool. It has little pie faces. So I thought that matched it. We have Eevee. One of my favorite, I love Eevee. I love the evolutions and Mercury. So she's my favorite between her and Neptune, but I feel like I'm more aligned with Mercury. I'm like a blend between Mercury and Neptune, but I love Mercury, so that's why she's there. And Spot, that is actually from my childhood. It's a stuffed animal. My Nana, so my great aunt gave this to me when I was a kid, and so this is like one of the only things I've had from my childhood. And yeah, I kept them. One time my dog, when I was younger, bit them and they sewed it together. And that's a good sewing, however they did it. That was a blessing. And this is Spot. He's been with me, he's as old as me, about 30 years old. That's how you know good quality items, right? And he's been with me everywhere, college. And then I found like he comes with this red necklace, right? Well, this red bow. But then I found, because I love purple and gold, you know. And so I put this little collar on him and couldn't do this channel. So he's kind of like the guard dog of the channel. I made him from scratch, showing you like, because I believe in like analog. That's why I say keep analoging, because I'm all about like, starting off designing from scratch and just making the best of what you got. And you can still make beautiful things as a designer, So I just wanted to introduce you a little bit to the council credentials. As you've seen, I've done some skits and things. And, I was inspired to do YouTube by a number of creators. I would say I started watching YouTube heavy, of course, like everybody during the pandemic. Hold on. But my favorite creator, yeah. But on the anime manga side and VGC, which also inspired the channel, was Tekking101 and Wolfie. And I don't know if this is very popular, but since I started YouTube, I actually been watching this video. Well, I started YouTube in February, but I've been watching this video and the next video we'll do from Wolfie. The actually next 3 videos we'll do is like a little mini series. I've been watching them for years. Just watching over and over, trying to get the confidence. And then when I got it and started, I use this kind of like as my rubric, So I thought it'd be really cool. Hey, Tech, if you're watching this, I'm sure you have like 800,000 subscribers. I thought you're gonna see this, but you're a big inspiration in my channel. Hence, I have my own channel mascot, and I'm just a guy in the room, And so I want to really honor Tekking and anybody that's scared to do YouTube. Like, find some creators that you like, and hopefully they do create these type of videos. But I found the video, which is I watch all the time, and I was going to watch it. I actually listen to it while I'm working out, so I can like learn more, and be a better YouTuber. So I want to share this with y'all, and I hope that someone can learn from this. I hope Tekking doesn't copyright strike this, but I think it's cool. I think this is a cool video. So let's just get into it. Okay, so we're just going to analyze and react to it, and I'll comment. And yeah, this is one of the videos I follow and reason why I became a YouTuber. So we're recording. Boom. So this is Tekking101. Go follow him, like him. He's cool. He drops multiple videos a week. That's kind of how I got my style, just like not scripting, just getting on it. You got to know what you're talking about. You got to love what you're talking about. And I just stuck to two topics. So One Piece and Pokemon, and a little bit of news sometimes from an article, but I just stay in the realm. So let's, I like his thumbnail, how to make a YouTube video. Classic. And let's just go.
Enjoy $3.60 lattes each Thursday this summer at Capital One Cafe.
This is the perfect pair for your iPhone.
Oh, look, another one, the kind of
It replaces
YouTuber I
3
want to
different
be.
chargers. When I travel, I don't pack extra
I want
cables.
to watch that
I
on
don't
my
even pack
personal
extra
time.
bricks. This covers my phone, my watch, and anything USB.
About. I think that's self-explanatory.
All right, let's start from the beginning.
Hello, my name is Matthew Crawford. On YouTube, I'm also known as Tekking101.
Hey, Tekking.
And today, I'm going to go through a brief tutorial video with you on how to get started making a video on YouTube.
Okay. How to make a YouTube video by Tekking101. Okay. Boom. All right, we'll probably be using that, but let's go. Let's learn. And I don't know. This. I just thought of a topic. I just like, let's shoot. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. I don't think I'm qualified to talk to you about what you should do. But so we're gonna be learning together as scholars, right? So let's kind of use this together to learn and take notes.
This tutorial is not meant to be really in-depth. It's meant for somebody that's never been on YouTube before,
Okay.
never really filmed themselves, and is just wanting to get into the whole thing. So with that being said, I'm going to break this video up into 4 topics.
4.
The idea stage, the filming stage, the editing stage, and the uploading stage, where you share.
Okay, good. So he's breaking it up in 4 different parts: idea, the filming, the editing, and the upload. Okay, Clay. I kind of see that. I'm now as an experienced YouTuber. I'm really curious now my perspective on this. Okay, so I'm definitely locked in.
Content with the rest of the world. So let's get started.
Step 1, the idea. Okay. I'm just screenshotting things. I don't know what the hell the thumbnail gonna look like, but we're gonna hodgepodge something together.
Now, before you decide on exactly how you're going to shoot your video, before you even,
I'll find something on Google with Tekking101. Put a nice, good picture with him and me like that.
a camera, really, you need to decide on your content. What are you going to be making videos about on YouTube? Because a positive about YouTube is that it's a really big place that has hundreds of millions of videos on it. But a negative of it is that it's a really huge place that has over hundreds of millions.
He said the first thing is content. What kind of content are you going to be doing? So, for example, my channel, I focus on Pokemon and One Piece. Now I niche down to like One Piece manga because I'm not dealing with them copyright strikes, but One Piece is a general umbrella. I focus mainly on the manga series. And then Pokemon, I focus on like VGC and Pokemon National Geographics. I kind of stay away from the anime stuff because you will get copyright striked, right? So those are my needs. So Pokemon and One Piece. So we did that.
Videos on it. If your content is not something that is special or really stands out or is just not done well, as in if you really don't know what you're talking about when the video begins, people are going to be clicking off of it in the first few seconds. This is even worse when it comes to television or movies. You might have heard something called the 5-minute rule, where if you're not invested in a program in the first 5 minutes, you're going to click off and go to something else. With YouTube, that's way worse because this is a service nobody has to pay for, and they could literally be watching another video within just a click of a button. So you really need to draw that audience. A good way to do that is being knowledgeable about your content. So
okay, I love how you said that 5-minute rule. You need to make sure I can do better at that. You let me know. But I've been trying to just speed up my intros or be a little more punchy at the intro. But I'm trying to find that balance to have better intros. That's something I can do. If you know, I've done the meow meow series or there, or I'll sing. So I need to work better on my intros. But I just hopefully people are more invested. But I have to get better at that. Let's see what he said.
Content you're going to put out there on YouTube. Click of the button. So you really need to draw that audience in. And a good way to do that is being knowledgeable about your content.
Knowledgeable about your content. So me going into One Piece, it took me forever. I thought I was gonna do people. I'm gonna tell you this: the channel that you see here is not what everybody wanted me to do. So you need to make sure you do something that you truly love, that you're like, okay, I'm not getting paid to do any of this. I got this set from Hobby Lobby and Amazon. First of all this shit here is stuff I already had, right? But the Pikachu and the LT and the poster, I had to get that. I got the wanted posters. I laminated that. I had the sword. I had the trinkets. Those are my hats for my collection. I did have this back area. I had these stuffed animals. I didn't have that. I made that. And I just put the shit together. I had the desk. I didn't have that. And so I just hobby lobbied. So just put it together because you have to want to do this. You have to want to come here every day. You're going to have to just do this. And I've already said, like, my goal is because I graduate from Pasadena Community College in fall 2027. And that's my goal to finally hit and start making money. Now, when I say make money, I know that making a living is kind of crazy off of YouTube and it's very far fetched. I just want to be able to pay my rent. If I can pay my rent off of YouTube, I'd be cool by the time I graduate. So, and you got to be knowledgeable. I wanted to do some kind. Not every time I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I'll be honest with y'all. Can I be transparent? I psych myself up because I've already when I'm as an actor, I have to audition, I have to prep, I have to self tape, I have to edit. So there's all this preparation in everything I do, or I'm always constantly training. You know, if I'm dancing or if I have something for like a football commercial track, it's always all this prep. And I'm like, I get so stressed out. No, I love that. That's my job. But now when your hobby becomes your job, you don't want to do that for YouTube. So Tekking was so inspiring to me because I watched his interviews and he's so serious about like you need to know your shit because then I can just cut the camera on. So like I'm able to just cut the camera. I don't really script. I think about what I'm gonna do in the gym and then I just kind of go for it. You know what I mean? There is some basis in logic and ream, but I will say I do have like okay, I have a master's degree, but I do have a big 10-year training and acting and performance and in front of the camera work, and also I'm a designer and I went to school, so I have like a knowledgeable background, and I've been playing Pokemon and manga since I was a kid. So I had to be like, wait, you know what you're talking about? It's just the organization of how to do it. Let's continue.
So whatever content you're going to put out there,
Like right now, this is not even scripted. I'm just going off the dome. I don't know what was going to happen. I just know I like Tekking. And hey, Tekking, if you're watching this, you're so inspiring to me. And yeah.
to whatever video you're going to make sure it's about a topic that you know stuff about. And the great thing is, it doesn't even have to be something that you might find important, like politics, for instance. I mean, it can be, but it could be something as insignificant as maybe an old television show that you might like, something that's been off the air for years, and but you really love, and you've seen all the episodes, and you might feel it's insignificant because it's not something you can just go into a conversation with somebody on the street. But on YouTube, it's different. You're sharing your content with an arena of people from different cultures, from different countries. It doesn't matter how insignificant your content feels to you. There is bound to be at least a few people out there in some community that will latch onto it and that will want to watch your content. So your own worst enemy here is you. Now
I really appreciate that because I've been doing this since February, and as you can see, I'm pumping out videos daily. And last week I'm depression. But anyway, last week was pretty rough. But yeah, man, I love how you said just anything you want to talk about is make sure you love that because there's billions of people in this world and YouTube gives you access to so many people. So once the algorithm gets you in front of the right eyes, they will subscribe. We're lucky now to have, I think, 428 since we started in February. So it's crazy. Hey guys. Hi. Um, and yeah.
aspect of crafting an idea for your channel, just coming up with something that you know a lot about. I think that's self-explanatory. But the second aspect I find is just as important, and that is entertainment value.
Okay.
What you want to be thinking about is what you can do to make your video unique from everyone else that's talking about the same thing you are. Even if you're picking out something.
Yeah. I'm hard on myself. So I'm like, yeah, do I do that? Am I entertaining? Like, I feel like I'm entertaining. Like, people tell me, oh man, like if you had a reality show, you just don't need a script, just put it on there. So yeah, I try to give it, like I started working better on I feel like my chapter reviews are getting better. Cause I'm starting to like really like, amp up the energy just a little bit, for the camera, but still feel like true to yourself. You got to be entertaining. Because this is like the new TV, we're all watching this. So that's amazing.
You might not have a lot of followers for. You want to be able to stand out so people remember you.
Okay.
And whatever you do does not necessarily have to.
Also, want to say this. I think when Tekking done this, I heard from I think the guy on the room. He did like a deep dive on Tekking, and we're definitely gonna watch that one because he tells you that the Tekking formula is not what you should be doing. And I was like, if you tell me not to do it, exactly what I should be doing. Exactly what I should be doing. Oh God. Ah! But so Tekking, yes. He did this, I think, for his final project in college. Like he had probably like a communication. I think he's a communication major or something like that. And this was part of his final project. I don't know what his major is. I just know he worked at Dollar Tree. He does One Piece, and this is the final project. So I think this is really dope. He made this for a final project in school.
In with your topic. It could just be where you film, what your background looks like, or what you're wearing. For instance, in my videos, I discuss Japanese anime, and the only thing that I do at first glance to really stand out is that I wear a suit and a tie in all my videos. It has nothing to do with my topic that I'm discussing, but I made that decision because I knew people would, remember me just for the way I dress, and it worked. So think about something like that. So now that you've come up with the first step, you have a topic that you feel like.
I was totally inspired by that. That's why I wear the lab coat. That's why I started like over here. I wear like normal clothes, but when I do like my One Piece chapter reviews, I actually did that too. So, and one thing you're not supposed to directly copy your inspirations. No, I didn't. But use those people as like the foundationals because they've already done it. They're major. They're successful, and put your own twist on it. Right. That's the point of like researching and being inspired. So as you can see, yeah.
Of stuff about, and you have somewhat of an idea on how to make that topic entertaining. Now it's time to film yourself so that you can share that with the masses.
Okay, so what did we learn in step one? Ideation. So look at me, ideation. This is really good because as I think one thing me and Tekking both can share, and we both do, we can just come off the dome and talk about something that we love, and that we usually stick to topics that we actually know, or we go be well researched. And so, for you out there that struggle with that, just do a whole bunch of research. And I know some people like to script, but it's like, okay, like, would I rather post like one video a week? But I guess if it's like 2-3 hours long, because there's a couple people I love doing the deep dive. I love watching deep dives or behind the music on like artists or like deep dives on R&B and music culture. So I do appreciate those once a week uploads. So it really kind of depends the type of channel you have. So yeah, for me, I have a lot of frequency because I can do it. I think one video a day is not that bad. And I think what got me also able to produce videos, we're doing self tapes here, and I'm like, if I can do a self tape to a casting director that's never going to answer me, I can do a damn YouTube video that nobody's going to comment on. Oh, hold on, we got to get the screen grab. And one thing about me, I do think about the thumbnail as I'm going. I'm like, oh, that looks good. Let me, I'm a hodgepodge something together.
So just to talk about the technology itself very briefly on what kind of camera I would prefer that you use, it would most certainly be an HD camera of any type. The problem here is that in the beginning stages of YouTube, back when it started in 2005, 2006, HD cameras were not really commonplace for everyone just to purchase at a reasonable price. So their video quality was a little bit understood while it was not that great, and people still became really popular with that camera quality. However, now, 10 years later, pretty much all the most popular people on YouTube have very good camera quality, at least an HD camera. You don't have to run out and buy something that is an absurdly expensive camera, but HD is felt as like the bare minimum right now, because once again, going back to that 5-second rule, if somebody is watching your channel, even if it is a topic that they might be interested in, if they keep watching, if the video quality is not very good, and to some people just being not HD that's inferior in their eyes, they will click off of it. So the quality is just as important.
Yeah, I struggled with that at my very beginning. I do shoot on my iPhone. So at first I was shooting on my iPhone SE, and the camera quality wasn't great. I'm sure you can see the upgrade now. I do shoot now on the newest iPhone Air. So it's the newest iPhone out there, has like the best camera. And I have a ring light here, and I have this center focus ring light. At first I was doing like my lighting, like okay, I had it like this first with the bad quality, and then I was like, ooh, I want a little mood. Hold on. I want a little mood. So I was doing this, right? Which feels good. But when you go into post, it just feels granulated. I don't know. Like I just felt like it didn't pop as much because I did that for a while. But then in post, I'm like doing a lot because I do like this. But then, just for consistency, I can go into post and kind of adds a little more shadows and depth. Now, one thing I did notice, this is for all my Black content creators. If you click the auto button to kind of auto it and then shift it around, they will put like a white cast on you. What I've started noticing, like the white balance. So when you're balancing out, make sure you don't. We're not white, so there's no white to balance. So I don't do the auto. I just go in, and when I color correct, I do it just naturally. I usually kind of just make sure because I don't want to be like, okay, so like lighting tip. So this is yellow. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Okay. This is white. This is white lighting around me. I feel like as a Black person, when you have a white key light, it kind of just, you see how it doesn't make me feel gray, but makes me, it doesn't show my true textures. And so that's the same thing you can do. That's the same thing that happens when you're using like the white balance, right? So I've knows for Black creators, and also like when I've done music videos, commercials, or movies, or I'm creative directing or whatever, I'm producing a video. You The lighting makes a difference. So the background looks good, but I feel like I don't look true to color, and this looks better. This looks like my true color if you had met me if I'm in the sun. To me, that looks better. And then you go back and post, and you can add a little more shadows and a little more depth, but you don't want to do that. Do you see that? Okay. I just wanted to do something for my Black creators. Okay. And you know what? If you're not Black and you want a little warmth in you, I don't know why you wouldn't want a little warmth. I would put the yellow light on you. Only time I do the white light, if I was lighting the background, I can do white. I would like white light on them. But for me, as a human being, yellow.
Is your topic. So with that being said, I'm going to put a link in the description below to a website called camcorder.com that I use. It's a website that lists all the different.
That's it. Yeah, I did say that. I use my iPhone. So the way this was done in what year? 10 years ago. So 2016. We're in 2026. So in 2016, when I was finishing my master's, cameras were different there. Like we didn't have it like iPhone 4, 5, 6, whatever. Like, yeah, whatever. It wasn't like this.
That you could possibly buy, listing prices on the internet, if they're professional grade cameras, if their cameras more for just casual use. So that'll probably get you a decent idea on, depending on what you want to discuss, where you're going to shoot at, if it's going to be an indoor camera, outside, maybe it's something that you need a little bit more durability for, like a GoPro camera. That'll give you an idea for what price range that would fit for your videos and how much that you could afford. So just to give a few tips about filming itself, number one, your appearance. You want to look presentable when filming a video. You don't have to dress up like in a suit and tie like I do, but think of it as going to church or going to the office. You want to make sure you look nice when people are watching you, because if you don't seem interested in the topic, then they're not going to keep watching. So the first is definitely appearance. The second, I would say, is your backdrop. What is behind you when you...
Appearance, yeah. So like I said, I do wear the lab coat. I added the gold chain. I do have the black glasses. And I do wear the tank top. Like I was wearing like t-shirts at first or like different tank tops, but I thought just keeping it like cohesive, keeping it streamlined, simple over there since I do wear just regular clothes here. Yeah, because I got the muscles. But here, yeah, totally. And then I will say, like, let's say I do two videos in the same day, or just like I don't know, even every day. I would be like, let me throw a shirt on, but I try to at least match the backgrounds with the shirt so it can give a moment. So I totally agree with him, and he's about to talk about backdrops.
And I understand that when people are just getting started making videos, they don't always have a room that they can go to with a blank wall where there's nothing distracting behind them, or a room that they can convert into somewhat of a studio where they can throw up images for whatever topic they're discussing. A lot of times when you're getting started off, you're going to have to.
This reminds me, I need to do a room tour. So what I'll do is, I don't want to make a promise I'm not gonna do. This is just the corner of my room, and what I'll do is instead of just like insert picture, um, I'll make sure I'll do a room tour video. I need to do one. Actually, I'm gonna do it this week. 'Cause I'm very proud of my backdrop. So yeah, I'm not gonna go more in depth, but about my backdrop. But yeah, the backdrop was so important because actually, if you look at the beginning of my videos, I just threw shit back there. And then I've worked in retail as a visual merchandiser. And so I was like, how do I go to someone else's job? And you can take this too. How do you go to other people's job and you do all the details, but do your own shit like shit? So I literally took everything off and I got a ruler and measured everything. Yeah, I did. And it took me like almost 2 weeks to do this because I was wanted everything to be perfect. I went to Hobby Lobby, I sourced things, and I just used what I had. I'm so proud of this set. So proud.
Possibly in
And
your
it feels like me.
room or just in your apartment or wherever you happen to be living. And of course, the issue with that is there's going to be, traces of your own life behind you. Like if you film in your bedroom, there's going to be, posters up behind you or, personal effects, things that you are interested in. And that's not really a problem. That gives gives your viewer a look into your life, but you want to make sure that it's not too distracting. You want to make sure your room is cleaned up when you make a video. You want to make sure that there's nothing behind you that your viewers are going to be paying more attention to rather than the star of the show, because that's you. You are the star of the show. So that's just an idea for the backdrop. And the third and final tip I'm going to give you here is that of lighting.
Mhm.
Lighting can completely ruin your video if it's not set up right. And there's very few feelings that are worse for somebody that makes content on YouTube than making an entire video, discussing your points, really feeling like you did a good job making a video, and then finding out that most of it is completely unusable because of some stupid reason, like there was a window open behind you and that created a silhouette, so you're all darkened out,
Mm.
or that you thought the lighting was accurate, but adequate, but when you look at it, you turn out that
Okay.
you're.
Speaking of lighting, so I do have a really big ring light here. And so here, it's all controlled through my phone, but these are at 50%. At first, when I first started, I had these at like 100% max brightness, but now these are at 50%. And then another thing, as far as lighting, it feels like I'm enclosed because of this. So, like, it's right by my window, my desk, right? You see? Blinds. And so, if it was daytime, it would get to me. Even if I would, close the blinds like this. But this is so what I did was take a blackout curtain and I sewed it because, blackout curtain, I found something nice. And I draped this right here to block out the sun. And now this kind of gives like a solid moment, right? Oh, oh, got you. Ha ha! All right.
Darker or much brighter than you really showed to be. Now, the easiest way to get around this would be doing something called a three-point lighting setup, where you're standing with your backdrop behind you, and you have one light to your left, one light to your right, and then one light above you going straight, and you can adjust those depending on, if your background is a pure white wall or something.
Yeah, he's talking about 3-point lighting. I totally agree with him. So I guess this is like my makeshift 3-point. Like I've been doing this for a long time, so I understand lighting. Um, what he's talking about, you would have a key light like here hitting that wall, to like illuminate the background. But since I already have these recessed lighting going underneath, it kind of is my illumination right here, and then I have these right here, right? So if the can, so he's also talking about if you have too bright of a light, it can mess it up. So hence why it's good that I have my lighting. Like when I had it down here, right? You see how it kind of bright? It's a little too bright right here on the letters. It feels like it's overtaking, right? But the trick to that is the trick to that is if this is brighter than that, it counters it, whatever. But it's not, I don't have it too much.
Black, you can make adjustments as those sees fit. Now, usually do a pretty good job of illuminating you without washing you out or giving the silhouette
Washing you
problem
out.
or anything such like that. However, this can only really be done with certain lighting equipments, and that can be very expensive. The lighting equipment that I use cost in around $80 or $90, and I understand that's not something that everyone can just spend on equipment to make videos on the internet that they might
Yeah,
not be
it
making a
gets
lot of money
expensive.
off of right out of the gate. But there are other ways you can set up lighting that doesn't necessarily have to cost a lot of money. You just want to make sure that you don't look too washed out or too shadowed. A good way that I always do it, even before I had these really good lights, was that I would film myself for about 5 or 10 seconds, where I would film my entire video, and then I would turn off the camera and then check it to make sure that I was well illuminated, that I wasn't too washed out or I wasn't too shadowy, and then I would turn my camera
So
back.
luckily now today, a lot of people use the iPhone. So I'm using my front camera. I think beforehand, even my older camera didn't have a great front camera. Luckily, we're able to use the front camera so I can kind of see what's going on. But yes, I do. Even with these guys. Oh, for my headphones, I use my headsets. Right. This is just a prop. Because I have an OtterBox and my phone goes flying. So this was the best thing. So what I do is I use my headsets. I go into post, I dub it and layer it like you have the track and you lay it underneath. They'll probably talk about this later. And I use this as like a separate sound audio and then I sync it because if you use Apple headphones, it's off. Okay. You can tell in my Kingdra video at the beginning it was off and I had to fix it. And also I messed up in post.
And then the pursuit was to find the answers to 3 basic questions. Who? What? And why?
Okay, I love that.
Continue making the video properly. So that's just one tip if you're not
Yeah.
really sure how
And I do
lighting
my
is. But
testings.
yeah,
I
it
do
really
test
can
the
make or
video.
break your
You have to
video if
test
it's not
it.
done after.
Trust me, every time I do that, I fuck up. Oh, hold on. Editing. But goals, I can't wait. I'm able to move I have roommates, but move into my own apartment where I can have like one wall where I do like the One Piece chapter reviews, one wall for like my self tapes, and then I would like another wall just for that. Like that would be like that's like my dream to have. Like a 2 bedroom would be a lot, but if I'm doing this all the time, having a wall for each one, I think would be so inspiring because I'm in my bed. My bed's like right here, and so I think for me, I have to edit like outside in my living room, or I do edit right here, but it makes things easier, right? Okay. Did I take a screenshot of this? I'm gonna make such a fun thumbnail for this. I'll probably put Wolfie and Barry, the brick. I'll put me and Dr. Dictionary and these. I think that'll be really fun.
So now we get to the third part, which is editing. And this is something that I honestly might make an entire separate series of videos about because it's a topic that is so huge that I could not possibly, discuss everything in
Editing.
this
Yeah.
video alone. And there's so many different aspects of it, so many different softwares you can use and different tricks you can use to maximize your editing goals. But for right now, let me just give you a basic setups. Now, out there in the zeitgeist, all over the internet, there are a large number of editing softwares that you can download and you can use them to make your videos look amazing. Of course, I can't tell you which one to pick, which one would be the best for you, depending on your talents. That's something you have to figure out on your own. If you've worked with some form of editing software before and you feel like you can go one step higher, that's great. If you have never edited before at all, then I'll give you some tips on which ones you should start with. Keep in mind that there are some that you can download for absolutely nothing on the internet, completely free from the developer's website. And there's...
So I have a MacBook. So are we breaking the fourth wall? As I'm watching this on there, right? And this video is way longer than... See, I don't script it. I didn't know how long this is going to take. But right here, I watch it on there, and I have a MacBook. I got this. This is my second MacBook. My first MacBook is behind me. It's crazy. Shout out to my grandma. My grandma bought it for me when I first went to grad school in 2013. And then when I went to finish up my thesis, I did my thesis in like 2021. Long story. That's when I got this baby. And now, since I'm back in school and I'm now focused on game design and animation and I'm YouTube editing, I do want another computer, but I love this one. But next, I need a desktop. So, as you're saying, I do want to have like this when I do my work. I do want to have like an area for editing, an area for like 2 areas for shooting, the whole nine, right? Because this desktop, I think, is more cooler. I wouldn't put my desktop computer on there. No, but I'll find something else. Probably the one that goes like this that I can edit and do my stuff.
that cost a pretty penny. The ones
Oh,
that I...
editing. I use iMovie. I do everything on iMovie. I've been using iMovie since I moved to Los Angeles in 2017, and iMovie, and I've gotten way better at it.
Adobe After Effects, Sony Vegas, and PowerDirector 12. Those are all the ones that cost a pretty penny if you want some. But when it comes to one that is free and is the most simple, I would say it would be Windows Movie Maker. It comes for free pretty much, or at least some version of it does, on every Windows PC. If not, you can download any previous version right off the Windows website. And there's not a lot you can do with Movie Maker, but it's very simple to learn how to use, and there's tutorial videos for it all over YouTube. Yes, YouTube is also very great for having a bunch of tutorial videos, just like this one, teaching people how to do stuff. So this is something that I have to defer to other YouTubers for, but any editing software that you pick, any one, I can rest assured that there will be an entire community ready to help you out getting started with that editing software somewhere out there on YouTube. Just search for whatever editing software you feel that you would like to.
Yeah, I use iMovie because I can move the quickest. And for my videos, I don't have a lot of effects. Like I just need to edit it together. I do a little music, a little that, but yeah, I keep it pretty simple. So I put the video into iMovie. I didn't copy and paste the video. So I have both of these videos right there. Because I'm recording it on my phone. It does capture this. Remember, there's a delay. So I take both video files, the duplicated files. I take one, put it underneath it, and then if this, I go like this. So the sound can sync with the actual video, right? Because just like this, there's a delay. But if I move it up, after that, I go through the video, I edit it, I make sure everything is like cool, it's smoothly, like something's a little more raw, something's a little more hyper edited. If I feel like some little fun things, I throw it in there. Uh, and then I usually do like the little shh at the beginning, shh at the end of these more sit down videos because that's like my logo. So it's like my little thing. And I have a couple things I always go to, like clapping at the beginning. So you just kind of come up with your own editing style. And that's my biggest advice for people doing YouTube. And I who am I? I'm still working towards 500 subscribers. But I think by you doing your own editing, helps you grow so much faster because you see the issues.
Something that you feel that you can work with,
And even if it's not perfect, still put it
someone
out.
explain it to you, and if you feel like, oh, okay, this sounds like something that I could do, then go ahead and order it or download it, depending on which version it is. But always look into it, because you don't want to spend a lot of money on something like this and then find out that you can't even use it because you can't figure it out. There's a bunch of editing softwares out there that I've tried once or twice that I can't make heads or tails of. Avid being one of them. Avid is scary. Film productions love it if you can use Avid because it's something that requires a high amount of skill level to use, and you can do amazing things with it, but it has a very difficult learning curve. But if I was going to give a recommendation for maybe something for you to look into aside from Windows Movie Maker, I would recommend the PowerDirector editing softwares.
Okay.
Mostly because that was voted like #1 on compatibility, on how to learn how to use it. It was the easiest to learn, and it blends like a professional software with something like Windows Movie Maker that's more basic, but it gives you way more features. So I would look into that if you were thinking about buying anything. And just going on the pay scale alone, something like PowerDirector compared to Adobe After Effects or Sony Vegas is very cheap by comparison. So that's all I'm going to be talking about in terms of the editing aspect. I can't really go into
I use iMovie. It's free.
details on
I'm not using that anymore.
how to do editing tricks or something.
Unless I learn some more editing softwares in school, but like, I'm done. I can't. This is
make a
enough.
whole different series about that. But for right now, just for the purposes
It's
of this
so
video,
intimidating.
you should find an editing software that fits in your price range and also something that you can learn how to use with relative ease.
Okay, uploading. Okay. Period. Well, we're already 45 minutes. Such a Dr. Alchemist video. I'm like, this is going to just be quick.
So now we
I
arrive
turned
at
a
the final
16-minute
part, which
video
is
into
also the
hours.
easiest: sharing your content with YouTube itself.
Okay.
You went ahead, you found a topic that you want to discuss, that you know a lot about, that you found a way to make it entertaining and combine those together to create your content. You filmed it with whatever camera and whatever location that you did. You edited with whatever editing software you got your hands on, and now, sitting on your desktop, you now have the completed video file to share with the world.
Okay.
To do this, all you need is an active YouTube account. Getting one is very simple. If you've never started a YouTube account before, you can just go on their website and there's an option to open it. You can also do it through Google because Google owns YouTube. So now you go. You can just pop your video directly into the upload box and you can go ahead and put it out there for all to see. A couple of tips here is that when you upload a video to YouTube, you have 3 main boxes that you can add information into to allow people to find your video easily.
Okay.
The first one is the title box. This should be self-explanatory. You want to pick a title that's not too long, not too short, and gets your point across on what you're discussing. For a first video, that's a big deal. You don't want to just title it, my first video. There are millions of videos out there like that, and it doesn't tell you anything about the content. So, for example, if you're discussing a television show, you can just type in
like this video. I don't know what it's going to be, but I probably am going to use how to make a YouTube video. I'll probably put like learning from Tekking, or the YouTuber that inspired me to be a YouTuber. How to make a YouTube video, Tekking101. I'll probably just put like this YouTuber inspired me. Boom. Analyzing the YouTuber that inspired me. Boom. Analyzing the YouTube. Write that down. Analyzing the YouTuber that inspired me. Okay. / how to make a YouTube video, Tekking101.
television show you're talking about, episode 1 discussion or episode 1 review. And that's all. It's simple and to the point, and people understand what they're clicking on when they watch your videos. The second is the video description. This is something where you can go nuts when it comes to describing your video's content. There's no text limit, so you can put in pretty much anything you want, as well as links to other things that you do. For example, if you have a Facebook page or maybe a page that you want people to donate on, you can put links for everything in the description box below. As well as when you are actually making the video, if you want to redirect anyone down to the description box to click on a link or find an example of a song.
I work hard on my descriptions. Check my descriptions, okay? Work hard. Check my descriptions.
Used, or maybe if they used a video clip, you can find stuff like that. You can put all the links in the description, so that makes everything easier to find. And the final window is the tags window. This is something that does not appear publicly. It is something that helps people search for your videos. You want to put in just simple words separated by commas what your video is about. So if you're talking about that television show, you want to type in the television show, comma, maybe the starring actors that appeared in it, maybe the band that did the soundtrack for it, maybe the studio that produced it, maybe the year it was produced, just everything and anything that you can think of that people would search for that relates to this television show, and you want them to find your video. That's what goes in the tags area. So now, congratulations, you have a video on YouTube. What's the next?
Okay. do I have anything else to say? So we have the idea phase, which for me, I'm not really a scripted guy. I just kind of just go for it, right? Um, The idea phase, yeah, I'm not very scripted, but think about your ideas. You can brainstorm. Think of like it starts from the niche of your channel. So whatever the niche of your channel is, that's where your idea should be coming from. For me, it's Pokemon and One Piece, so it's pretty straightforward. I have a invest like chapter reviews. We know what we're doing, so I kind of have a formula. Find different YouTubers that inspire you, and kind of just look how they structure their YouTube channel, and then you can take what you like from there, but make sure you make it your own. Recording, I use my the filming phase, I use my iPhone, y'all. So you like so many people nowadays use their iPhone. Would I upgrade? I don't know. I mean, iPhones are just they're damn near $1,000 worth, right? So why not? Editing software, yeah, for sure. Editing software. I use iMovie. And then as far as like editing my thumbnail, I use PowerPoint and Keynote. You just have to set the page numbers so you can make sure it fits in there. And I do that. And I move very quick.
For you to do. Well, don't give up. That's the one thing.
Don't
Do
give
not
up.
stop at just one video or two videos or three videos. If you want to be successful on YouTube, if you want to build a fan base, you have to create a schedule of videos to upload regularly. This is advice I got from somebody when I started YouTube. It was somebody that I really looked up to at the time, and I've always had this piece of advice with me, and it's you have to create regular content, because even if at first the content does not attach or does not latch on, it doesn't seem like you're getting a lot of views, don't worry about it. Like I said, a really big place, hundreds of millions of videos, there's going to be bound to be things that are going to be overlooked at first. Same thing with me when I first started making videos, but as I kept with it, I kept creating a video every single week, sometimes more than that, and eventually I started developing a fan base. It was a small fan base, but it was there, and that continued to grow because I kept creating content. Never give up, never stop creating videos, because that fan base can diminish just as quickly as it came. And so one last thing I would say is at the beginning of your YouTube career,
I really enjoyed that. I really took that one. Yeah, that's why I post regularly. Like, you know what I stopped saying, and moving forward, I won't say no more. How many times? Putting that restriction on there, but I post very regularly. You're gonna get a video a week, like at least one. But I post regularly. I try to post daily. You know what I mean? I'm at the point where I'm taking weekends off. But we're just yeah, I mean, I love what you do, so you can do it, and I'm gonna take that advice. Like, even though I don't have a million followers, and maybe one day I will, but I really hope if you're watching this, just like I'm watching Tekking's video, and this might be 10 years from now, um, that'll be dope. But yeah, keep going, keep going. I'm talking to myself too. Keep going.
to make sure to just stick to one topic in particular. Maybe later on, when you gain a little bit more popularity, you can begin branching off to talking about other things. But at first, when you don't know exactly what's exactly going to click with your fans, you want to stick to something that you know, and then maybe take advice from your fans on what they liked, what they didn't like, and then after you gain somewhat of a fan base, you can begin branching off to talking about other stuff as well, and see how that responds, and then just repeat the process. But anyway, thanks for watching my video. I hope it was informative.
Bye,
This will be
Tekking.
Tekking101 signing out.
All righty, guys. Well, that was so informative. I was so nervous making this video because I'm like, am I gonna get like copyright strike? Am I gonna get da 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 da? But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this because I enjoyed Tekking a lot. I watch him all the time, and I'll fix this later. I hope that me doing this will inspire you to do YouTube. If Tekking sees this, thanks a lot for what you did, because I mean, you're a large part of the type of channel, just being the guy in the room, because a lot of times you can get intimidated by the people with the bigger budgets, the IRL, the stream, and I just want to be able to do something by myself, because I feel like my whole career has been decided on needing other people. And that's why I started YouTube, because I wanted to do something. Well, at first, all my YouTube channels, it was all collaborations. I even had a podcast before, like a little talk show, but I just didn't have the confidence. And I was just like, what can I do that's all by myself? And yeah, it's a lot of work, but I'm having a good time, and I appreciate that. It feels good, even though sometimes it's hard to make a video. You're like, oh man, I just get up because I really enjoy it. Because once I start talking to y'all, I enjoy it. So yeah. Thanks, Tekking101. If you ever see this, that's really cool. Uh, I hope you learned a lot from this video. And this was, I don't normally, I haven't done nothing like this. This is more like, I wouldn't call this a reaction, more analysis. Maybe we're just learning. I don't know what to call it, but hey, we're just analyzing my favorite YouTuber and what inspired me to be a YouTuber. So I just want to let you know, we can adapt, we can rebuild, we can win. You can achieve your hopes and dreams. And maybe one day I'll just be just maybe a half as successful at Tekking, because I'll be happy with that. But hopefully I'll be able to, like, become a bigger YouTuber like him and work with him one day. This is Dr. Alchemist, M.F.A, the Neo Scholar, with Dr. Dictionary, PhD, dissertation, and the council credentials. We're logging off, and I'll see y'all later. Let's do it like Tekking. This is Tekking. This is Tekking101 signing out. This is Dr. Alchemist, M.F.A, signing out.